What up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Makai36. I'm here with Mildew here, and it's the 9 Ball on a beautiful May 23rd, 2023 for episode 14 of All Things Gaming. 9 Ball, where did you go? You're hiding from it, bud. You're hiding from it, bud. As you guys
hear?
You said what?
I think I can still hear you.
You think was that a little loud for you guys?
Getting a little loud, man. At least on my end. I'm going to turn you down a bit.
Yeah, because we are exactly where you guys can get your race energy drink at reppsports.com. Type in reppsports.com. Type in ALWT game at checkout and get 15% off. How much was that there, 9 Ball?
52%.
15%. How much was it there, Mildew and Carrot? How much is it, Mildew and Carrot?
I think it's like 15?
15. 1-5. We don't want to confuse those people out there that are energy drinker enthusiasts. So if you guys like energy
drink, take half off.
Yeah, I had one earlier this morning, so I'm actually drinking the water. I had the the sour gummy worm. So quite delish. But yeah, make sure you guys are doing that. Rep Sports, reppsports.com. But as you guys are probably aware, we didn't have a stream last week. We were planning on doing one. I'm going to be honest with you. I was extremely tired after Jamaica, and I'm wearing the shirt. Jamaica, come on. You know what I mean? So I decided to take the day off.
Well,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we're glad you could Jamaica back to us. You know.
Thank you. Yes. I like it. Oh, I have a dad joke for you guys because my buddy Buckeye on Call of Duty. We were playing Call of Duty the other day, and he told it to me. I've never heard it before. It sounds like it's something that I should have heard, but I've never heard it before, and it made me chuckle big time. So here's the dad joke. Did you hear about the guy that stole the calendar?
No.
I heard he got 12 months.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But
you're gonna make a great dad. Yeah. You're gonna make a great dad.
I'm already a great dad, you know? I'm already a great dad.
You're gonna be a really good dad.
You just left the level, though. You just evolved. Now I just evolved from just standard dad to even greater dad, you know?
Dude, I heard that. I heard him tell me that, and I was just like, okay. Yes, I love it. Absolutely love it. And I even told her that. I told her. Yeah, I even told it at the at job today at work when we were in the meeting. They were because they had a no laugh contest. It was like a little icebreaker. We had a no smiling contest, whatever. And here's the thing.
Okay, it's like I got this.
and here's the thing. So I can naturally smile, and I can also not. But when someone tells me not to smile because for 5 minutes because we're about to do it, it's just so hard for me not to smile, man, because it's just so funny for some reason. I don't know why, but so I was out like instantly. and so because I was out, I was able to talk, and I told the dad joke, and yeah, it was funny. It was funny. You were cracking up, but wow,
that was just mentally loves company.
But it's been about 2 weeks, and I want to check in on my compadres here, starting off with Mildew and Carrot. Man, how have you been? What's been going on with you? What have you been up to?
Oh, just living life like normal. Just being a lone gamer, you know. I'm playing some solo games, but getting back into V Rising because I got Gloomrod out now. Been doing Phasmophobia and Demonologist with Hits Abs and Gravity and 9 Ball. Been loving that. Also got Abyss back on Phasmophobia, trying to get him level up for the due date when they do the badge resets. Been playing also some other games called Cosmoteer, and just playing my survival games, Among Trees. I haven't picked up 7 Days to Die again yet. Night of the Dead I need to play again because they've got some new updates and stuff. And for anyone who plays Conan out there, the new series of Conan's coming, which is actually going to have some new stuff, which I believe was even something mentioning about like PvE raids, I think. So looks like they're adding a bunch of stuff to Conan, which I definitely still have on my PC and played a lot. And I'm definitely trying to figure out how to make my own like local server to keep stuff fun. So if we can get that going, let's see if we can get the crew down, do some R-rated stuff on Conan. In other words, R-rated meaning chopping heads off. Skyrim. There you go. Some of the kids will know Skyrim.
Nine Ball, man, my guy. How's it going? What you been up to? What's been happening?
Well, not too much. Been actually out, caught up on a few movies, catching up on some TV shows, watching certain shows because God, I got so much I got to catch up on. I got a ton of anime I got to start watching, which I started watching. I watched 3 of them, and I'm watching only one right now. The other one's on standby. I got 2 more. I've been working on my anime tier list. I had to redo that because I started rereading it. I was like, man, I got to start moving this stuff around because I got so many new ones I'm putting on there because I started up some. Outside of that, been playing Master Duel, of course, Power Wash Simulator, of course. No Man's Sky. I'm getting back into that. I wanted to check out some of the updates for it. I seen it had quite a few updates in it. And I was like, I ain't played in a long time. Outside of that, first party games, not too much. Like I said, watched a lot of movies and stuff lately. I've also been getting back into exercising again.
That's what's up.
So, yep.
As you guys know, again, I was on vacation, so I spent a lot of last week getting back up on the animes I missed out on. So Hell's Paradise, Home Hero, My Love Story with Yamada-kun, level 999, how Raeliana ended up in the Duke's Mansion. The only anime that I haven't got fully caught up is the one that came out yesterday, and that is I got a cheat skill in another world and became overpowered in the unrivaled in the real world too. So I'm still an episode behind on that one, but I'm going to get caught up on that today, probably after the stream at some point. Video game wise, I've been playing a lot of like narrative video games. I didn't want to start anything too long. I've just been playing a lot of FIFA and Call of Duty and and League of Legends. Been playing a lot of League of Legends lately, trying to make ranks so I can play with Muhizi. But I've been
League of Legends.
Yeah, I've been doing that a bit, and I mean, obviously, you guys are more than welcome to join me whenever I'm trying to do my runs. I might be even playing that after the stream today. Just because I want to try to get ranked so I could play with Muhizi a little bit more and all that good stuff. Having a good time with Ash on that game. Yep, I definitely will. But I don't want to start anything too heavy narrative wise because Final Fantasy 16 is around the corner. I know we're going to talk about Final Fantasy 16 here soon, and I'm very excited for this game to come out. But yeah, we're literally a month away from that, so I don't want to start anything that will take me a while to actually get through it because I know that when Final Fantasy 16 goes out, it's going to be tunnel vision. Everything else is off to the side until I complete that storyline game. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go on ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I just haven't really been playing a ton. Just been watching quite a bit of anime, getting fully caught up on all that, and also actually on the 28th, I believe. So I think that's a Sunday. We're going to get an announcement, a news announcement about Eminence in the Shadow. Eminence in Shadow. We're going to have, so it's probably going to talk about season 2, and it'll probably have like some sort of release date or release year. Likely is what's going to happen.
I'm excited for that.
I have not watched that one yet.
Can't wait for more of that. And then also, I'm waiting for more information on Bofuri.
Bofuri? That one just recently ended. Unless, I don't think it's... Oh, actually, is it over? Season 2? I don't know if season 2 is over.
Season 2 is already done. Yeah, season 2 is already done.
Do you know how many episodes are in season 2?
I want to say I could have sworn it was 8.
All right, so that sounds like it might just be a core then that they're finished with, like because of a season.
Normally they go like 12 or 24.
Yeah,
24
like 12 normally. No.
24 is more even because even for Spy Family, that first season was 12 episodes, but then the core they didn't call the next set that came out. They didn't call that season 2. They just said core 2 because it was 24 episodes which makes a season. So usually if it's like an actual like anime season, it's going to be like you just said, anywhere between 12 to 24 episodes, more leaning towards the 24, 26 episode range like Rising of the Shield Hero did. So so the fact that Bo Fury might only be 8 to 12 episodes, it's probably just the first core of this season, if it's even considered season 2, because I actually don't even know if they even called Bo Fury season 2. Like what we got recently, I don't know if they even call it season 2, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I'll have to watch.
No, and that's fine. Like I was kind of curious about it if it was season 2 or not, but I'm waiting for more because it's turned out to be a really, really good series. Kind of reminds me a little bit, and this is just the point of it. Like, I mean, it's definitely got that SAO feel, with the VR world and all. Though, just to me, I always go back to the old dot hacks, to the very first ones.
Oh my god!
When they first introduced the concept of VR kind of play and all,
Yeah.
So it was
definitely got to go back and rewatch it.
Dude, like, the old dot hack is just like, holy crap.
I bought it when it came out. It's been a while since I've seen those.
Oh yeah, no, it's an old one. But if anyone likes, the Log Horizon, Sword Art Online, Bo Fury type of things with the virtual world type games and all, go back, watch Dot Hack. It's like first gen of the virtual world type gaming animes, and at least I believe it was.
I'm currently keeping a promise to my niece. I told her I'd watch some of these animes. So, first one I'm watching, I believe, is Demon Slayer. For my first one.
Absolutely.
The next one will be Jujutsu Kaisen, and the second one will be Bankai no. So I told her I was going to watch these. I need to start watching them. I watched it with 3. The first one I watched was bad. And that wasn't Demon Slayer. That was. You ever heard of Bastard?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. Could not get into that.
Yeah, pretty much the same road. I was like, this is bad.
Yeah, it's not.
This was like a real bad horny D&D player and watched heavy metal and decided to make an anime.
Yeah, the Bastard just seems like a sign-in for those who just need that feeling of like they're powerful or something. It's like no.
Yeah.
The second one was Tress, which I thought was sort of interesting.
Which one?
I was been Tress. It's sort of like Supernatural meets Men in Black in some ways, where it's like the ghost and demon world and the human world exist side by side, and it's like one of the main characters is kind of like this, I guess, peacemaker between the two, and she's supposed to make sure that everybody's following the rules and everything. But I'm gonna spin back to that one. First time I finished up Demon Slayer, which I started back over completely.
Yeah, Demon Slayer, because of the 3 that you mentioned, you said Demon Slayer, you said Jujutsu Kaisen, and Bungo Stray Dogs. 2 of the 3 of those are excellent animes. Bungo Stray Dogs, I don't really have an opinion as of yet because it's a weird one. It's a unique one. I'm not even that far in it. But yeah,
it's my favorite one. You've got to watch it. I said.
Yeah, Hell's Paradise is definitely where it's at for sure. I would say that, and then also I would recommend, and I know I said this before, but this was recommended to me by Muhizi, Malevolent Spirits. That is a fantastic anime, and I hope they have another season that's coming out. Like, I feel like there's going to be more seasons about it, but I don't hear anyone speak about Malevolent Spirits. So I want to get that out there in the wild. If you guys are anime enthusiasts and would like to have a new anime to check out, Malevolent Spirits the way to go. There is no dub. So it is something that you're going to have to read.
That is fine. I watched the anime like Sunday Without God and even Persona 4 and several other. Even My Next Life as a Villainess. I watched it all sub.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch it sub. If I've got the time to do it, I definitely can. But I find myself just in between so many things and trying to go and help people out with family and stuff that it's just like, it's like, all right. Ones I'd want to watch, I've got on my list is what was it? Trying to remember the name here real quick. It was like what, Buddy Daddies? I think.
Okay, yeah, I got that on my queue.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me just of Spy Time's Family. I'm like, I gotta watch this. And then another one that actually was on my list that I need to watch. I'm waiting for it to come out in English still. Is A Galaxy Next Door.
I've seen that on the queue of Crunchyroll. I haven't started either one of those, but that I haven't
started either, but those are on my list to watch. If they can go in English, it's also not. I'll try and find time to watch them. But those are definitely two or whatever that really piqued my interest in stuff that I think I would enjoy. For those who don't know, Buddy Daddies is pretty much about two. I believe they're like mafia-style hitmen who end up taking care of. I think they're Target's daughter or something. Like, and he becoming dual parenting in a way to this little kid. I may be wrong on like who the kid is, but they definitely are taking care of a child and still trying to do their jobs. Galaxy Next Door is about a manga artist in Japan taking care of his two siblings because his parents passed away, and getting help from a girl next door who ends up being someone not of this galaxy. So it definitely seems like a kind of like a slice of life style one. That one is Buddy Daddies definitely seems like slice of life action. So
yeah, two last things I will say real quick. Two last things I'll say out there was I will say that I believe, because I haven't seen Buddy Daddies, that's on my queue, but I believe it's over, and I don't think there's another season. Because if I'm not mistaken, they did something that's very similar to Toma-chan is a Girl, which that was a great anime, but I feel like that they could have made that much longer than what they gave us. And
did it not resonate?
No, it was well accepted. Like, people loved the anime. They just wrote it to where it ended, and like it was at the end of the month. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Now here's one thing I will say about why that kind of works for Toma-chan as a Girl is because you have the main premise, which is she has this crush on this guy that she's been grew up with her whole life, and he looks at her as like one of the guys. So that's the whole premise of it. So, and that's the biggest thing. There's a couple things that come out here and there and everything like that. But after that first episode, almost every episode is almost like a Family Guy episode. What I mean by that is there's not really any, aside from the relationship, there's no progression. It's just there for your entertainment, for you to laugh, for you to see what happens, stuff like that. And then on to the next episode, which has no correlation with the other one. So it's just a very not narrative driven plot until you start talking about the relationship between Tomo-chan and the main guy. So it's just like, yeah, so they could have done more with it. I feel like that should have been at least 2 or 3 seasons long, at least, especially since the manga I know is a lot longer, because in some cases when it's that short, the other supporting characters and side characters, I don't get enough information from them. Like, I know who they are because the anime is telling me who they are, but I can't resonate with this person and this person because they're only in for a couple of frames. Like, they're only in for like an episode or two, even though that they highlight them as pivotal character or pivotal supporting characters. So yeah, there's just a couple of things that I wish was a little different with that one. But I say that all that to say that I believe Buddy Daddies did the same thing. Like, I don't think there's a season 2 of Buddy Daddies from what I saw. I think it's just like when you watch it, it's done and it's intended to be done. It's just that it was just super short, anime wise.
It just going back kind of like that perfect ending.
Yeah, pretty much. And again, I think the ending's good, but I think the journey and even the journey to it is good. But I feel like they could have fleshed it out more because they did something very similar to Quintessential like the way that Quintessential Quintuplets ended. I feel like we got robbed because that movie that came out that's season 3. And they cut out so much stuff.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of animes do that too. I've seen kind of recently on some stuff. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still very curious about it. Even if
same here.
I'll still watch it, but if not, we'll try and get the petition out. Get someone to make the next season. One last thing I did want to say, I actually watched. I can't forget about this. I actually binge watched this one. It's on Netflix. It's Inside Job.
I haven't seen that.
And that was actually pretty good.
I gotta put that. As you know, I got a huge list because after the anime burnout.
I would recommend you put that one up on the top, buddy.
I waited so long, like I got a huge amount to catch up on.
I haven't seen that yet. But and one last thing, and we'll go on over to the news proper and all that good stuff. For anyone that does like My Next Life as a Villainess, I do recommend for you guys to definitely check out How Ray Liotta Ended at the Duke's Mansion, because it's very similar to that. Very similar, actually. And on top of that, every episode, like they come out with anime episodes every week. This one is just like Tomo-chan as a girl. This is simultaneously launching the English dub at the same time. So when it comes out in Japanese, it's also there in dub too as well. So
nice. Now can they find this on High Dive or Crunchyroll?
Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is there. Again, it's called How Ray Liotta Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion. And there's been a couple.
I don't own it anymore.
And there's been a couple changes. There's been a couple shifts here and there for the upcoming Fantasy Gaming League as we have right here, and I have it here in front of me. So anyone that is
somebody made some moves.
Yeah, they certainly freaking did. Zaka Corp, are you kidding me? Mortal Kombat 1, you freak. Okay.
What happened?
You know what happened. You know what happened.
You good? You feel better?
No.
Better than
Malachi? So anyone that is curious about it, Fantasy Gaming League, it works very similar to fantasy football, but instead of being against one person throughout the week, you're against everybody throughout the annual basis, so for the entire year. It's on a 100-point scale where they utilize the scores off of Metacritic, and then anything that's above 70 points, the 70 points is being the threshold, so anything that scores above 70 points gains you points, anything that scores below loses you points, and anything that's right at 70 neither gains or loses. If you counterpick a game that's on somebody else's list, they cannot drop that game. If it scores poorly, you gain the points that they would have lost. If it does great, you end up unfortunately taking the hit for counterpicking that game. But again, like if it's picked and it gets delayed into the next year or years, they cannot drop that game. So you just made a vacant spot on their list, and then you just succeeded in that aspect of it. So there's been a couple changes here. Zaka Corp right now. His first on my list here, he has Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which got him 34 points. They got a 97 on Metacritic.
Dude, that was not a surprise to anyone at all.
Yeah. Redfall wouldn't have sucked.
97 is still a high score, though, especially when you're talking about a sequel. Usually sequels don't do as well on Metacritics.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah. Wulong Fallen Dynasty got 11 points. Redfall got negative 11 points. Redfall was a disaster of a launch. Wolf Among Us 2 did not come out this year. And then the rest are pending for him, which is The Plucky Squire, Senua Saga, Hellblade 2, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2, System Shock, Tekken 8, and Mortal Kombat 1 he just added. He has a counter pick of Sons of the Forest. He's sitting right now at 34 points. ALWT Gaming, aka myself, I have Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, Hades 2, Forza Motorsport, the Xbox Series X version, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, Ether Knight, Stellar Blade, Power World, Remnant 2. Those are all pending. The only game that launched for me so far is Horizon Call of the Mountain, which got me 10 points, 80 on Metacritic. I have a counter pick of Black Myth Wukong, which is not coming out this year. Illuminatus Living right now, he has Resident Evil 4 Remake, which got him 24 points. Hollow Knight Silk Song pending. Octopath Traveler 2, 15 points. Like a Dragon Ishin, 11 points. Sea of Stars and a Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. All those are pending. He just picked that up. That wasn't on his list before. Yeah, it looks
like, I've never seen that game. It looks like, what is that game? Jet Set Radio Future in a way.
Interesting. I wonder how he came across that. Yeah, because he has 4 spots now instead of 5. He normally has 5 open, so he went in and made a little strategic move there, picking up Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. He has 4 open spots, counter pick of Wolf Among Us 2, which is confirmed, not coming out this year. Titan Bringo Punch has Fire Emblem Engage, got him 11 points. Liza P, Armor Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Pikmin 4, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, all those are pending. Theater Rhythm, Final Bar Line, got him 16 points. Metroid Prime 4, Dragon Age Dreadwolf, those are both pending. He has 2 open spots, and he has a counter pick of Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon, which got him negative 11 points. He has 15 points in total right now. I don't think I said this, but Luminous Living has 50 points, 5-0, and he is currently in second place with his picks. First place right now is Carrot Patch Inc. Second place, like I said, is Luminous Living. Third place is Dr. Q. Fourth place is Zaka Corp. Fifth place is Gravitron. Sixth place is Titan Brain Go Punch. Seventh place is ALWT Gaming. And last place right now is Moga. Miko How Great Again. Back to the...
Yeah, we've been... Me and Carrot's been really talking to Gravitron. We've been trying to
encourage him.
We're trying to. We're like, you can do it, man. You can do it.
Hey, tomorrow on Summer Game Fest around the corner, both of those might be areas where he can really shine and pick up some games. You never know. Going on to the next one, artist did Titan Brain Go Punch. Carrot Patch Inc., who has Hogwarts Legacy 14 points, Spider-Man 2, which is pending, Wild Hearts 9 points, Company of Heroes 3, 10 points, Sons of the Forest pending, Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp 11 points, Minecraft Legends got 0 points. That scored exactly 70.
Hey, I'm okay with that. That makes me happy, all right? That means it didn't flop. It's just, it's good, you know?
Terranil and Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End, and the Secret Key both scored the same exact points, 12. He has an open spot, and he has a kind of pick of One Piece Odyssey, which got him negative 4 points. Dr. Q has Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, which is not coming out this year. He might want to drop that soon. He has Dead Space Remake, 19 points. Alan Wake 2 pending. Dead Island 2, 5 points. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon, 11 points. He has 5 open spots. He has a kind of pick of Forspoken, which got him 3 points. Gravitron has Star Wars Jedi Survivor, 15 points. Forspoken, negative 3 points. Atomic Heart, 4 points. Black Myth Wukong, not coming out this year. Skull and Bones, pending. And then lastly, but not leastly, is Moga Miko How Great Again, who has Diablo 4 pending. Starfield, Assassin's Creed Mirage, both of those are pending. One Piece Odyssey, 4 points. He has Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, pending, and then he has 5 open spots and the counter pick of Skull and friggin' Byroons. So there you go. That is what our list is looking like.
You gotta get on the rest of them because I don't have their numbers there, Malachi.
Yeah.
I'll
throw out a little reminder because it's been a while since I threw it inside the group text of as far as like, hey guys, like if you guys haven't logged in, there's some games that's about to be coming out soon. I'm gonna take a look at your list, so I'll go ahead and do that here soon. Make it competitive.
We're getting into the halfway point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're getting into the halfway point here, folks. Looking a little dry.
Legitimately get inside the halfway mark here. And what we're going to get into right now is story number 1, which is the PlayStation Showcase. But before I start reading that, I do want to kind of go on over to these predictions on here that we did previously. And I feel like 9ball got a little gypped. You got a little gypped, my guy, because the bonus that we were going to have was that you were going to select the correct date. Me and It's the 9ball, me and Mildew Carrot both said that it was going to be June 1st for this showcase. You said it was going to be May 25th. It is May 24th. And it's almost like PlayStation listened to this podcast. It's like, we're going to make 9ball wrong. Let's go ahead and move it to the 24th instead of the 25th.
I saw that and I'm like, a Wednesday? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all just be like, all right, hump day, let's get it going with the games. I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm not against it, but it's like, damn.
Yeah. Now, scoring wise, this worked out in our favor, Mildew, because now 9ball doesn't get the bonus points. But as objectively speaking, exactly. I was about to say, objectively speaking, I feel for you, my guy, because you were a day off. You were almost right on. So just kind of recapping on the bonus that we have, or the predictions that we have. It's the 9 ball. Your list is looking like this. You have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You can think there's going to be gameplay there, a trailer, and a release date. You also said that we would get Pragmata, a release date, gameplay, and trailer. And then you also said that we're going to get Death Stranding 2 trailer, and they're going to discuss the game. So those are all of your predictions there. Mildewy Carrot said that we're going to see Spider-Man 2 release date, gameplay, and trailer. Wolverine, a cinematic trailer, minor gameplay, and a release year. And then Dragon Age 4 cinematic gameplay and release date. And then I said that they're going to have Coda Remake, Coda Remake news, gameplay, and trailer. Ghost of Tsushima 2 trailer, gameplay, and release year. And then my last prediction was anything new from Blue Point. Extra bonus. It would be an extra bonus if they said Legend of Dragoon remake, if that's what they're working on. So that was our predictions for tomorrow's showcase. So we are going to be live reacting to that as well tomorrow. For anyone that's watching right now or listening later on podcasts or anything like that, we are going to be live reacting to the PlayStation Showcase tomorrow, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 4 p.m. We'll be a little pre-show beforehand around 3:30, just kind of getting things all set up and getting ready to dive inside the anticipated greatness that we're going to see. I'm actually very excited for the showcase, especially since we didn't have one last year. We just had a couple state of plays and they were like smaller ones, but yeah, like I'm very excited about this showcase. So now going on over to the news.
It'd probably be way better than last year though, because we didn't
have one. We didn't have one last year.
Yeah, they was kind of, well, that's because really they probably was just getting it together. I mean, when COVID and stuff first hit, they kind of had to slap stuff together out of nothing. As you notice over the years, it's gotten more and more, it's getting better trained and everything.
I beg to differ on that one, because we, the showcase that we had in 2020 and 2021, both those were banger showcase, especially the first one when they first announced the console. That was amazing.
I'm talking about, that's because that was at, the E3s.
No, it wasn't at E3. Yeah, this what they. They pulled out because me and Mildewy Carrot actually went to the last E3 that PlayStation was part of in 2018.
Mm-hmm. They did switch off. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah.
After that, because I was going to try to go again in 2019, but then they made an announcement that they're not going to be there, and I was like, well, I ain't going because I was only going to go to try to see Final Fantasy VII Remake anyway. And then guess what showed up at E3 2019? Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was upset, but and then it came out in 2020, and then they started doing their own PlayStation showcases. So the one that was in 2020 and the one that was in 2021 has been fantastic. They didn't have one last year at all. They just had a couple state of plays. So this is the first high-scale showcase that we're getting. And honestly, they didn't really need to have one last year because they had so many games that was coming out. We had God of War Ragnarok. We had Horizon Forbidden West. We had Ratchet and Clank. I think that was actually 2 years ago, Ratchet and Clank. I think that was 2021. But still, it was just like we had a good plethora amount of games that was coming through. Now, most of those games, if not all of them, have came out. So now what's the next portion of it looking like? And that's why I'm excited. Because now we do have Spider-Man 2 that we're probably going to see. We're going to maybe see Ghost of Tsushima 2. But if it's not here, I actually wouldn't be surprised. Like, we still maybe have Coda Remake. But if it's not here, I still won't be surprised. Wolverine, same thing. If it's still not here, I won't be surprised. Like, there's just so many games that's underneath the PlayStation umbrella, first party and third party, that I'm like, what are we going to see tomorrow? Like, I'm excited for the stuff I don't know. I know I said that before. I'll say it again. I'm very excited for what I don't know and looking forward to. I want to see what's going to come out officially this year. So, without further ado, Darren Bonthis from GameSpot says this in the article. Sony is hosting a PlayStation showcase this week, and after April's Final Fantasy 16 focused event, this latest edition of the company's PlayStation showcase is expected to be a big one. A state-of-play style event during not E3 season usually contains some major reveals and announcements, and this one will focus on what's next for PlayStation's PS5s and PSVR 2 platforms. The PlayStation Showcase will run for more than an hour, beginning at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on May 24th. And it will be available to watch on the official PlayStation Twitch and YouTube channels. And I have the other times on there too as well. I'll just say it just for anyone that's listening right now. So it's 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 9 p.m. I think that's Boston Standard Time. Is that what that is? I believe it's BST is Boston Standard Time. I could be wrong.
Standard Time?
I think it's Boston Standard Time, but I could be wrong. But if you guys,
maybe,
if you guys live in, if you guys have BST in your area, you guys know what it is. What we do know is that Sony has some big games in development, and after Final Fantasy
British summertime. What?
British. British summertime. It's probably British.
Looking it up.
It's probably British Standard
British
Time.
Summertime UTC 1.
I think it's British. I think it's really supposed to be British Standard Time.
Unless the British want to be like standard. No, it's summer.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah,
this is summertime, not standard time. Get it right, you Americans.
There you go. So, what we do know is that Sony has some big games in development, and after Final Fantasy 16 launches on June 22nd for PS5, all eyes will be on Marvel's Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac, and possibly details on its Wolverine game. Spider-Man 2 has been rumored to be gearing up for September launch, and the PlayStation Showcase will likely be the best event in which to make an official release date announcement. Beyond Insomniac, there's also Naughty Dog's expanding on its post-apocalyptic universe with The Last of Us multiplayer game. Guerrilla Games is rumored to have also be venturing into this space with a multiplayer Horizon game, and a first look at what Jade Raymond's studio, Haven's Games, has been up to since it was acquired by Sony. Sony has also confirmed that third-party content will be shown, as well as several games from its indie partners. Mortal Kombat 1 is out in September, and with Sony positioning itself as a hub for fighting game fans, PlayStation Showcase is another great venue to get a first look at the gameplay of NetherRealm's upcoming brawler. Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding 2 and Tekken 8 could also appear, but the next biggest third-party game could easily be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Details on the sequel to the Final Fantasy VII Remake has been incredibly slim since its initial reveal, but ever since the director Naoki Hamaguchi confirmed that the game is in full production, and it's had tentative winter of 2023 release date. Square Enix probably won't want to release the game too close to Final Fantasy 16 and risk cannibalizing sales, but a more concrete release date and new gameplay will be a great way to close out the event. Lastly, Sony has room to provide updates on which games will be headed to PC next. Fans have also been hoping to see Bloodborne PC port for years, although there remains no indication of that happening. End quote. End story. So, PlayStation Showcase tomorrow. As we are less than 24 hours away from the showcase, I want to do a hype level check. Where's everyone's hype level at? Starting with 9ball.
Hype level.
Yes, scale 1 to 10 of hypeness.
7 right now.
Okay.
It's a 7. I can't really think of anything I'm hugely yet excited for. I mean, there's some games that look interesting, but I have a massive backlog. I need to stop eating this stuff.
Okay. Mildew Carrot, hype level check, scale 1 to 10.
I'm gonna go into it with a 5.
Okay.
Reason being is just you never know with these. Like, I know PlayStation has done good in the past and all, but I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go in walking, to see what they've got. Just kind of be like a shopper going around stores, seeing what they have. And if it's some really good stuff, it's gonna be like, holy crap, best shop ever. If not, be like, okay, pretty nice place, and then just done.
Yeah.
I
I wish I could go into it with a lower expectation, but my hype level for it is at a 9. It is at a pretty high 9.
Raise energy drinks we drink.
Exactly right. No, but I mean, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. a lot of this, like, I already know some stuff that's going to be likely shown there. But there's a lot of stuff that they announced at the previous showcases that has already hit now. So now everything for the most part is going to be more details on stuff that we already know, or brand new announcements on stuff that I don't know that I could be very well into. You know, so I'm really excited for the stuff I don't know, and I want to know more details about the stuff I do know. Now, with that being said, I don't want them to harness too long on the details of the stuff I do know. As much as I'm very excited, and I'm getting even more excited for Final Fantasy 16 as I'm seeing the previews and stuff like that come out, I don't need to see more extensive information about Final Fantasy 16. I'm good on that. Just give me the game now at this point. You know?
You don't deserve like nothing.
But why not?
Yeah, and like I want to see gameplay for Wolverine. I think that'll be cool. I want to see actual gameplay for Spider-Man, even though I feel like it'll be more permanent to how Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2018 were. I am curious to see what they're going to do that might be a little different. I'm curious to see what's going to look like when they can take advantage of the new tech of the PS5 and push the system forward. And see how are they going to incorporate the haptic feedback triggers, the 3D audio and the headset. Like, how are they going to do all that to a certain degree? I do want to see what other PSVR titles that's going to be out there that might be like, okay, finally we have something here. It may not even be here. And history has shown us it probably won't, but you never know. It's always, again, I'm excited for what I don't know. We might see some more what's it? Exo Primal. We're probably going to see some more of that. I played the beta previously with Shaolin Keys, and then we had fun with that. It was a little confusing at first because we were expecting to do like the campaign style, like almost like at the time when we thought Redfall was going to be. We were going to do that, but it wasn't. And that was fun. We did a PvEBP, which was really weird, but a lot of fun. So, and I can just imagine us getting a group of 4 just going in there, just doing the thing. Because what it is, I'm not going to harness on this too long because again we have other stories to get to. But what it was is that you have a team of 4 or 5 of Exo Primals, like warriors inside these suits and stuff, which you can switch out pretty much at any point of the game, which was really cool. But anyway, so then you're going through, you're fighting all these dinosaurs, but then there's a team in another realm, if you will, that is doing the same thing. So you're trying to beat. You're trying to go ahead and beat these dinosaurs faster than other people. But then there'll be other things that you can do, like say I might be able to go ahead and hit this button, and then in the other realm, a Tyrannosaurus Rex will show up and start attacking them or something like that, and try to like stall them a little bit. And then when you get towards the end, they switch it even more because then at that point you have direct PvP contact with those people that you were competing against to race against the clock at that time. So it was a very unique way of doing competitive gameplay, honestly, in a way. It was almost like Overwatch on steroids for like legitimately. It was actually really cool.
So, had something, I remember something sort of like that on, what was that, World of Warcraft, where they had like a map and you would go to an island. One team's on one side and the other team's on the other side. Mm-hmm. And I forgot how you're supposed to collect certain things and do certain things while they're on the other side doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and whoever does it fastest will move on to the next round a little quicker, and then again, like I said, like it was different almost each stage. And then there's a certain point where you guys get to the stage like 4 of that level. Then there's that potential of having crossover to where they come inside your world and they're straight up attacking you directly. They're not sending stuff to your world; they're actually in your world now, and you guys are fighting it out and stuff like that as you're trying to escort this item from one place to another or whatever. So it was very, very interesting stuff. And like I said, me and Shalom, we had a good time with it. It was something that we were looking forward to. We did have little qualms with the character creation. We wish that they were a little bit more in depth with that. But ultimately, though, we had a pretty good time with it. And they could show Exo Primal at this thing because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be coming out this year. You know, you talked about Pragmata previously, their 9-ball that's on your list for predictions. Same thing, yeah. They'll probably talk about that. That we saw that first at the PlayStation Showcase. So there's just a lot of things that they can show, and it's just like it's exciting to potentially guess what they're going to show, but also to me personally, it's more exciting to see a new IP, see a new game, or see a remake of a game that I loved before back in the day. And I will always echo Legend of Dragoon and The Bouncer. And even on Final Fantasy X remake, I feel like that Square Enix is not going to make a move like that yet until they are through with Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean, we have 16 that's coming out, so I don't think that they're going to do another remake until Final Fantasy VII remake is done, and then they may consider a remake in the future on one of the previous numbered games. So, but we'll see. But I mean, like, I'm excited for all that stuff that may be shown tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, so 7 for 9-ball, 5 for Mildewy, 9 for Flash. Speaking, kind of keeping it on the PlayStation news, story number 2, Spider-Man single player only. So George Yang from Yang or Yang, however you pronounce that, but George Yang from GameSpot says this in the article. Insomniac Games has confirmed that the upcoming Marvel Spider-Man 2 is purely a single player game. It will not feature any co-op. On Twitter, a user asked the studio if the game was going to have co-op, and Insomniac replied, quote, "Nope, it is an epic single player adventure." Exclamation mark, end quote. This dashes any hopes for those who were hoping to swing around Manhattan with a friend together. Co-op certainly made some sort of sense to give, given that there were 2 Spider-Man characters in Miles Morales and Peter Parker, but it looks like that won't be the case. It's Mildewy Carrot. What are your thoughts about all this? I know we talked about this before, but does this shock you? Does it surprise you? Did you have a hope for it to be a multiplayer? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
It's been nice to have multiplayer co-op capabilities. You know, I definitely feel like doing that with Spider-Man would have been a lot of fun and really interesting. But the fact that it's not really that depressing or against it, in my opinion. Because, I mean, come on, guys, we've all seen a lot of these, superhero games where they've all been single player. The first Spider-Man was, Miles Morales was. I'm pretty sure Wolverine's going to be single player. The only ones really that done multiplayer is like Black Suns, and then the other Marvel one was
Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns. Sorry,
Ultimate Alliance, all that.
Yeah, like those ones did, but it's like I feel like to really kind of work well with the game, like I think that it has to be kind of. I feel like it's just a concept of it just to be single player. Now I really hope what they do is they do what they did in the first one, where it's like you were jumping back between, playing as Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and also as MJ, playing as her and doing her little stuff, So maybe they have that inside this one, towards like, you've got like them, and then like maybe like their co-op team, their whoever they have, like play different perspectives and all. I did like that aspect. So, but other than that, it's really not too bad for me. I want to really them to keep that same feel of Spider-Man 1. I want to really them to like bring it forward more, So if that means cutting out multiplayer, I'm okay doing it. Maybe they could do something like The Last of Us where they bring multiplayer in later. Who knows?
Sure. Quick question for you there, 9-ball. Have you played and beat 2018 and Miles Morales, or have you not started either one of them yet? Or do you even own them?
But I haven't really.
Okay.
I own them. Okay,
but you just played a bit and that was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I think so here's a couple things. I'm putting together the pieces a little bit, but this is a super stretch. First and foremost, they had already mentioned like 2 years ago that it was a single player experience. So this does not surprise me. It surprised me when it was brought up again. I was like, maybe they listened to the fans, or maybe they listened to the media and was like, hey, let's go ahead and incorporate some multiplayer or co-op action in here. But seeing this tweet, there's not going to be any co-op. A little bummer for me because, again, I like co-op play, but it's still going to be a fantastic game. I already know it's going to be. Miles Morales and 2018 Spider-Man were both great. Fantastic. I am kind of curious, though. What's up?
No, I was saying for me, though, for me listening, it's not the worst thing. Some games ruin themselves when they try to incorporate a smash-in multiplayer. Mm-hmm. If you don't need it and the game's great, just go without it. Some games just run better without it.
Yeah, and this very well could be one of them. I mean, again, like, we played 28. We have already had 2 entries of the Spider-Man universe strictly single player, And those are both been running perfectly fine and absolute great stories, great gameplay, all that good stuff. It was just would have been nice to have that level of quality, but also with the multiplayer function. But there's something that I'm kind of curious on here. They're specifically saying co-op. So I'm wondering if there's a multiplayer feature in there that's like a fighting game almost. You know what I mean? Like almost like a arena fighter style, whatever. Like there's multiplayer, but it's not co-op. It's just someone is Venom, another person is Gwen, another person is Miles Morales, another person is Peter Parker, and they're just fighting it out, last man standing style. So I wouldn't say that. I mean, the likelihood of that happening beyond unreal. Like I don't think that's for 1 second that's going to happen. But it is kind of interesting that they specifically said co-op and not multiplayer. Cool. So I say that.
Hey, what's up, Junior?
I say what's up.
Good.
You good?
Yeah.
Yep. You excited for Spider-Man?
Yeah.
All right, go with it, mommy. So like I said, are we going to have a multiplayer Spider-Man? Probably not. But if they show up tomorrow and they're like, hey, it doesn't have co-op, but it has this multiplayer mode, I think that would be interesting to see what they would do with it if they decided to do that. Nineball, do you have any additional commentary before we go on over to story number 3?
No, like I said, for me, it's just I'm kind of glad that they just for me personally, from the rave reviews, it's I'm kind of glad that in a way they just decided right now just to not even incorporate or try to force it in.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the single player, make a great single player, and maybe, like you said, going down the road, it could become an option. Maybe we'll just do a spin-off, like they did kind of with Miles Morales, just do a multiplayer experience with 2 Spider-Mans from the Spider-Verse or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Story number 3, Final Fantasy 16 Game of the Year, ? Cameron Coach from GameSpot says this in the article. And this is talking about right now the DLC for Final Fantasy. So there's 3, this story number 3 is a 3-part, just so you guys know. So there are currently no plans for Final Fantasy 16 to receive DLC or spin-offs further fleshing out its world, according to the game director Hiroshi Takai. As part of the Game Informer's Final Fantasy 16 cover story, Takai and producer Naoki Yoshida made it clear that the game's development team, Square Enix Creative Business Unit 3, is taking a wait-and-see approach when it comes to expanding Final Fantasy 16 story and world. Quote, we have no idea if people are going to fall in love with Valisthea and fall in love with Clive's story, and we want to see more of the world and more of its characters, Yoshida said. Quote, so while we always want to consider DLC or spin-offs or those types of things where you can learn about the game, more about the game, we first want to see if Valisthea and Clive are really things players around the world want to see more of, and then make that decision. Quote, Yoshida told the magazine that Final Fantasy 16 is fully experienced without the need of DLC, and the team wants the players to be satisfied with what they paid for. That's a far cry from the previous main entry in the series, Final Fantasy 15, which received multiple DLC expansions, even a CGI prequel film, the Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive. The recent Final Fantasy VII Remake also received DLC in the form of Yuffie-centric expansion, Final Fantasy VII Remake Episode Intermission. In a recent interview, Yoshida said that Final Fantasy XVI's primary focus is its story, a response to fan criticisms of Final Fantasy XV's story feeling incomplete at launch and later required additional cutscenes and DLC content in order to tell a more complete narrative. Quote, I'm waiting to see how fans react to the story because that's what we put so much effort into, Yoshida said. On a hands-on preview with Final Fantasy XV's opening hours proves the game story will be brutal affair and quite unlike anything seen in the series before, having taken major inspiration from Game of Thrones. Final Fantasy 16 releases exclusively for PS5 on June 22nd, 2023. So before we go on over to the next sub part of this, which is talking about the day 1 patch that's not going to be necessary for that. Does that DLC, not having a planned DLC for anybody for Final Fantasy 16, does that do anything for anybody? Do you think that this is a good thing, that they're just focusing straight on the story, or do you think that they should have DLC ready to go? They're fire at the hip once people are anticipating people finishing this story.
To be honest, I'm very happy they're doing it this way. A DLC to me feels lately more like the story being chopped up and handed to you.
Mm-hmm.
If he's doing it like this, is actually for me the way to go. The main story should be the main game. The DLC should expand on the story, not be the main story.
Right.
I feel like so many games you run into. Oh, forget what is that? The season pass or the 4-game expansion pack. If they can release a good game and it's solid, the experience is good and it's contained and it's first in the contained form, and the DLC can expand and make it even better. I mean, to be honest, I'm all on board. That's actually a great approach to it. Don't try to shoehorn people and try to force more money out of them for essentially vaporware. Because I was just watching. What was I watching? I was watching Death of the Game, and they was talking about Back for Blood because they just recently shut that down. So rest in peace, and I'm sorry to those that bought the season pass for that game.
I just have a Game Pass.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was good for us. But let's say you bought it on Steam. You don't have Game Pass. You're a Left 4 Dead fan. You hear the term Turtle Rock, and you're like, "Oh yeah, they made from the creators of Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2. Let's go!" And they get in the game, and you find out, I bought the game and I got the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with myself. So I'm glad he's taking the let's wait approach, see if the world is good. I am a bit concerned. I know Final Fantasy has tried darker tone games in the past. I want to say, what was that, Type 0, I think? What was that?
Yeah, Type 0. Yeah, that was the PSP version that became a PS4 port. Or it was a PSP port for the PS4 and stuff like that, yeah. But that was it was a darker tone, but it wasn't a mature, because this is the first time Final Fantasy's been rated M. You know what I mean? So have you seen Game of Thrones? I've seen a little bit of it, yeah.
Lots of nudity.
Yeah, and apparently that is some of what's going to happen inside this game, like the opening scene.
Yes. Well, it's been in video games now. It's more prevalent now in video games. I've noticed. It used to be like CD Projekt Red's The Witcher was known for it.
Yeah, they had it in the God of War. I think it was God of War 2. They had it in
the original God of War 1 had I think,
because you're able to sleep with Athena, or you're able to sleep. Was it Aphrodite? It was something like that. One of the God of Wars. Yeah, I think it was Aphrodite, but yeah, Kratos had the option of sleeping with her or not, and then when you do, there's like a little mini game of you doing the deeds. So yeah, hey,
and
the same. It's existed.
Cyberpunk. Oh.
Yep, Cyberpunk has it. So yeah, I honestly think mature. Like again, if done right, I think we're there. Because again, even though Cyberpunk was criticized not because of the gameplay or the story, it was criticized because it was a broken game that they launched. That's the reason why it was criticized so heavily. And then the promises of all these DLCs and stuff they ended up having to renege on because the game was just so busted. So it was just so with that being said, I think that we had the creative talent in video game industries in general to be there. So I have faith in this. Again, I've been watching this one closely, especially with a lot of people that's talking about the previews and stuff of how they had 6 hours. They didn't just have an hour with this thing. They had 6 hours of being able to have this opening experience, and they had a little experience at the end game, and they're coming out like glowing previews for this game. So I'm very excited about it, but I still, to your point there, Nineball, we have to see if it happens. Like when it happens, because even though that they had 6 hours on it, that's still not the entire game. They don't know how the story pans out. They still don't know what twists and turns happens. They don't know anything besides what they were revealed. So all they can really do is just have the glowing effects of the 6 hours that they had, and that was it so far.
Like I said, it's a good thing. I mean, I'm not mad at it. It's a good model for what he's saying, and I hope they stick with the guns. It's a good model, like I said. People need more or less to get the whole gaming experience, and that takes me back to a long time ago with the Zero's Wrath, where they released a true ending.
That was so stupid,
and it pissed off everybody.
Yeah, that was so dumb. That was one of the dumbest things that they could have done. But that was that was greedy Capcom. That's what that was. Because they were really infamous for doing that during that time period. So for Mildewy, what are your thoughts about this after like hearing this little discussion, if you will, concerning of how Yoshida's approaching this?
I mean, I kind of agree with Nineball in a way. It's like I'm glad they're not really doing DLC yet, because I feel like DLC is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be downloadable content, which is supposed to be in a way extra content. So it's not supposed to be a part of the story in launch right away, because like Nemo said, that just feels like you chopped up the story just to try and get something to call DLC. DLC to me is kind of like the Boiling Shores for Horizon. It's like it's come out later. Like it's come out way later after after people have already gotten to end game. It's like it's all this extra content that comes out after the game is fully done. To where it's just like, okay, here's some extra stuff we were thinking about doing, and we're adding it now. So make a great game, and then if you've got something else that you want to put in that you feel like really could be in there, then DLC it, for sure. But definitely don't do DLCs at launch. I definitely caution against those, just because you don't know what you're getting when you do that.
Agreed. Yeah, no, I completely echo everything that you guys are saying. I think that again, like it, you at least in my opinion, you don't want to start like, unless it's a series like you're doing for Final Fantasy VII Remake, to where there are specific parts. Like they're split for some remake in 3 parts. Those are not DLC. Those are parts of a game. And so when they got done with the first part, they immediately started working on the next one, because they already had intent of continue on that game, that story. And it's not going to be like a small little it's not going to be like a small little 5-10 hour experience. This will likely be another 30, 40, 50 plus experience, like gameplay experience, because it's another entry. It's just no different than the Born Supremacy movies that you're seeing them like back to back and everything like that. It's a continuation of the story. So if you're doing that, that's fine. But if it's something like kind of going to the example that Nineball just shared, Asura's Wrath, if you're doing that to where it's just like you play the full game, you roll credits, but then you had to pay for $20 for DLC, and then they're just like, yeah, this is the true ending. This is like, are you serious? You just took the end part of this game and just resold it to me so you can try to double dip? Like that's the part that's messed up. So so I agree with you guys. I definitely think that Yoshida is doing the right thing by just observing, seeing how it's received, and telling the full story in here. And if it's well received, and they want to go ahead and continue on with that, they could. What I don't want them to do is, if they do decide, I don't want them to, I want it to be to where it's not like a Final Fantasy X-2 or Final Fantasy 13-2-3 scenario. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather, if anything, I'd just rather be like a DLC experience, 10, 15 hours if they decide to go ahead and do that, and then cap it there. I don't want it to be like a 10 to 13 part 1, 2, 3. I don't want to do anything like that just because they're expanding on the story, but at the same time, it's almost like one of those animes that stick around for too long. It should have been done at that point. Like that's what I would like. I wanted to have a good ending. I wanted to give me the ending to where I'll miss it, but I miss it so much that I'll play it again. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want. I don't want it to have it to where it's just going on, because I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm like I'm still going to, my goal, I don't know if I'll ever hit this in this lifetime, but my goal is to eventually get fully caught up on One Piece. But it doesn't feel like there's any ending in sight. You know what I mean? I don't think it doesn't seem like it's actually going to ever end. So it's just it's going to end because either one of the things is going to happen. Either the artist is going to finish it or he'll die. Like that's.
I mean, it could be a Naruto situation where he does pass away, but he's already pre-planned it out, and they just got to write it. You know, that's just pretty much what it comes down to, bro. You got to write and draw it.
Happened with Berserk and that guy.
It's just one of those.
To these wonderful artists, you'll be missed, but
it's just one of those things. Where just like you're overstaying your welcome then at that point. So, and I don't want that to be for 16. I just rather to be just give me the meat and potatoes. If you're going to give me dessert afterwards, cool. I'll have my dessert after dinner, but I don't need another dessert and then another dessert and then another dessert, because at that point it's just gluttony and now I'm full and feeling fat. You know what I mean? So
everything of this thing I was watching, this guy was like, he was making some joke, and he was like, it's like those old people that won't hang up when your Zoom call. He's like, guys, get those old people that just hang around too long. They don't get the cue to hang up. It's like a TikTok in purgatory.
It's like, we're good now. You can go. What? So you can go. What?
Sub story number 2 for the same Final Fantasy 16. Levi Winslow from Kotaku says this in the article. Folks who don't have internet or don't want to sit through a long day one patch for download for Final Fantasy 16 are in luck, as Square Enix doesn't have one planned for when the Devil May Clive action. I see what they did there. The Devil May Clive action RPG hits PlayStation 5 on June 22nd. According to the Game Informer report, Final Fantasy 16 is a finished package. You'll download it without having to make a space for a massive first installation update. Director Hiroshi Takai told the publication that this is for 2 reasons. One, the first is that the development team has total faith in the stability of the game's final build. Secondly, and more crucially, is that not everyone has an internet connection, which complicates the nature of downloading a day one patch. To make the global June release truly ready, Takai, alongside producer Naoki Yoshida and the rest of the team, believes that it should be functional at launch. That said, Takai told Game Informer that the development team is testing the game and regardless on a regular basis, searching for any bugs that they need to be squashed and issues that need to be ironed out. So although things are always subject to change, Square Enix is foregoing a day one update for Final Fantasy 16. So no day one patch is in the works right now. I know that's music to your ears. It's a 9-ball.
For me, it's some of the problem isn't just the day one patch. Some of these are day one patches the size of the game.
Yep.
I'm glad that they're actually testing the game before they launch it, and not launching it and just going, oh screw it, we'll just patch it as it goes. That's not how a patch is supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to fix. I mean, I understand they're doing all they can to squash bugs. I expect maybe down the road, maybe 1 or 2 updates here and there. That's gonna be, because no matter how many you do, you might find one, and then it's just human nature to try to break the game. We play with a guy named Gravity, and trust me, about every game we play with him, he tries to break it.
He does. He's like, what can I do now?
Oh yeah, he glitches through the wall.
He's like, I can glitch.
He makes it a point to try to glitch every game. So,
he tries to find just something to do, and just to get to do something outside of the norms, like to break the coding. He loves it, and we love him for it too. So it's hilarious.
But the simple fact that they are putting such faith in the game and putting, they're really, I would say, more or less sticking their necks out because you don't really. The thing about it is you don't really hear this things like this anymore.
Mm.
Most of them will say, "Oh, it'll release and it'll be fine. They release a day one patch." Well, we did the best we could. They're saying that no, we're squashing everything, and we are not putting out a day one patch. Like you said, this is good not only for people that don't have internet, but people with very slow internet.
Mm.
Your little Timmies and stuff, they get Final Fantasy 16, they all excited. You put it in, you download it, you turn the game on, you get another 100 gig patch, which is going to take 2 days. It's okay. Come here, son. Just take the rest of your game, just uninstall the rest of your games, and you have to put Final Fantasy 16 there. So and then he's got to find something else to do. Like I said, the internet's already not in the house, may not already be fast. So I'm glad they are considering that. I'm glad too that they are, even though it's coming out in June.
Yep.
That's around the same time Diablo comes out. That's
yep.
gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's been a huge conversation too as well.
Even though it's launching in June, they are still working on it, and that tells you a lot about how dedicated he is to the game. Most of them would have just said it's got to go.
That's it.
Package it up, and then we'll just do a day one patch. Shouldn't be bigger than 50 gigs. Hope you erase the rest of your game.
Yeah, no. I'm right. Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. I mean, again, this is good news to have. It means that when I put the game in and it downloads, it should allow me to be able to download it immediately. And when it's done, just jump right on in and start playing. Like, I cannot wait for that day to happen. June 22nd cannot get here fast enough. Mildewy Carrot, what do you have any additional commentary before we go to the last sub story of this one?
I'm good. Y'all know me, not much on the FF side, so not that I don't know about it, haven't played it. Lightning Returns 12 and all that fun stuff. Played the interesting ones with those, but in terms of expertise, I will leave it in both of your most overly qualified and capable hands.
Sub-story number 3. Wesley LeBlanc from Game Informer says this in an article, and this is talking about the PC version of Final Fantasy. Since the reveal of Final Fantasy 16, players have asked about the potential PC version of the game, especially given that the PlayStation 5 exclusivity reveal came with a 6-month window. Some potential players have assumed that window is up. A PC version of Final Fantasy 16 will be released. During my Final Fantasy 16 cover story trip to Square Enix Tokyo, Japan office, I asked producer Nakia Yoshida about a PC version of the game. While it sounds like it's on its way, he stresses that it will be longer than 6 months before players see or even possibly hear about it. I'm guessing he mentions 6 months because of the aforementioned exclusivity window, but he reiterates that that this window expiring does not mean the PC version of the Final Fantasy 16 will go live then or anytime soon. So for now, and presumably quite a while after the game's release, if you want to play Final Fantasy 16, you'll need a PS5. End quote, end story. Does that do anything for... I'm already getting... It's already pre-ordered for me on PS5. But for you guys, does that do anything for you guys? Are you going to wait for PC? Are you going to get it on PS5? Or even going to get it, period?
I'm picking it up. You already know that. I'm going to pick it up probably PS5 then. I like PCs better, but the PS5 is not a bad console. It's pretty good. So I can pick it up for PS5. Probably play it on PS5. I like it enough. And I love it a lot. I might pick up the PC version a bit later down the line, but I'll probably not pre-order, but probably pick it up. I'm going to take that $70 chance on this one.
Heard that. Mildewy?
Like so many cats.
Yeah, I'm going to be waiting. Like I said, I'm gonna wait for your guys' opinions. Nine Ball's taking the risk. I'll let him shoulder that responsibility, and and we'll go from there afterwards.
Big power comes big responsibility.
I mean, you gonna do it? I'm gonna let you do it, bro. You do it to it.
Before we wrap it up, that's the story proper that we have, but now going on over to two fun ones that we have. One of them is not so much of a fun one as it is a Netflix warning that I wanted to give you guys. Alex Stedman from IGN says this is an article. Netflix has announced that its increased measures to prevent account password sharing will begin going into effect this in the U.S. today, which is the May 23rd. The streaming giant said U.S. accounts who are suspected of password sharing will receive an email today, which you can read below on this other article, which says in part, quote, "Your Netflix account is for you and the people who live with your household." It also announced the option that add an additional user to an existing Netflix account, allowing someone outside of the household to use your membership, but it does cost an extra $7.99 per month additional user. Netflix expands further on the new feature on its help page, which explains that account owners now have the option of buying another slot for someone outside of their household. While this quote-unquote extra member will have their own profile and password, their slot will be paid for by the owner of the account. They also must activate their account to the same country as the account owners and cannot create additional profiles. BS coming out from the Netflix post, and it really is making me consider just getting rid of Netflix. It really, really is. It's kind of leaning me towards that way. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that lasts. Netflix is just starting to suck on this portion of it. Like content-wise, they have decent shows, animes, movies, all that good stuff on there. It's not like how they were before back in the day, but it's still decent enough that I don't mind having a subscription. But if they're going to charge me another $7.99 for my sister-in-law to have access to this, who's in another state, that is something like that's I don't see any other company doing that. I don't know why Netflix is going so hard on the paint for that. I really don't. It's aggravating. It's annoying. It's something that is anti-consumer, super anti-consumer.
Well, here goes another problem. How can it tell?
IP addresses.
Well, here's the thing. If you're using it, let's say your family's at home watching it, you're on the phone, or let's say, for example, you might have a computer that might have a VPN on there.
Mm-hmm.
And if your VPN's up and running, and you're running on Netflix.
What they're saying is don't use VPN. Because if you do end up doing that, because that's one of the...
Here's the problem that I've got with this thing. They're like, oh, if we see, you're doing something where it's it's like you're doing, you're doing this stuff to where you're we're seeing, you're bouncing around a lot, too many different people are logging in. I'm like, what if I travel a lot? How do you mark that for me, that I travel a lot?
Sorry.
And that I'm, literally, not able to, be in just one spot? What if I go to my parents' house a lot, and I watch it there because I'm babysitting or house sitting or something, how do you not falsely just shut down an account?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me that they do this to I understand why they're doing it. They want security and they want money is what they're doing. It's because they're losing a lot of money and they're trying to keep people from sharing. Got that. What I don't understand is the penalizing people that are literally being true but bounce around so much.
Well, the thing, I don't think they're going to shut down accounts. They're just going to give you an additional charge.
Well, no, that's still penalizing them. It's going to
hurt. Absolutely.
You're going to lose it. That's what I mean by punishing, not by disabling or shutting down the account or banning them. You're now charging them, saying, well, we're seeing this false activity and we think you're sharing your account and logging with different people, so we're going to charge you extra for it. I'm like, you're charging me because I travel.
Yeah.
and watch Netflix. Like, this is bull. Like, this is like that. Like, you wanted to try and make money. Congratulations, you've now just lost a ton of money, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is that has to be one of the dumbest things because again, like you travel, if you go to an Airbnb and you log into Netflix, your Netflix account at that Airbnb, that's going to be considered as another location, and they're going to be like, oh, there's this login that's happened over here in Wisconsin. We see that you live in Connecticut. Bam, we're charging you $7.99. Like that. Yeah. I'm right there with you. It's a whole bunch of BS. I don't know why there's so that like we know that corporations are not for the people. We know that, even though that they try to look like that they are. We know that ultimately the corporations are going to look out after themselves. But at least for the most part, when it comes down to messaging and PR, they at least appear to be for the people to some degree. But this right here is flat out them not even. Nope. They're just like, yep, nope. We want your money. You use it anywhere else, that's on you.
It just reminds me of what happened when D&D released recently.
Terrible
with
stuff.
That whole thing that they did, with they're like, oh, we own this all. I'm like, what do you mean you own it? Like, it was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Last fun one that we have on here is the PS5.
Oh, that was the fun one.
The PS5 backbone, which we have here.
Dark fun, Malachi's having.
Peter Cal from Engadget says this is the article. The popular Backbone 1 is an excellent accessory that brings a controller-like experience to your iPhone or Android device. It was so successful that the company collaborated with Sony last year to build a PlayStation edition. This model replaces all the face buttons with the traditional PlayStation controller layout with a white finish to match. The PlayStation Edition has been exclusively available for iPhone until today. Backbone and Sony have collaborated once again to bring the PlayStation Edition variant to Android devices. As a refresher, the Backbone 1 PlayStation Edition is an accessory designed in collaboration with Sony that is closest you'll get to having a DualSense controller while on the go. Sony says that it will be detected as a DualSense controller within its own PS Remote Play app. That means you'll be able to play your PS4 or PS5 catalog games with something that looks and feels similar to your standard DualSense controller, regardless of whether you have an iPhone or Android device. Though you don't necessarily need this controller specifically to play your games through PS Remote Play, other controllers will work similarly, just without a special controller detection. So the little Backbone that's out there that some people have been playing with, and you can do that on your Game Pass. You can do that on your. I'm not even sure if outside of Game Pass, I honestly don't know what other games people use Backbones for, like other programs. But you can do it with PlayStation now on your iPhone, and that's pretty cool to me. I mean, especially we were just talking about traveling a lot. So if I'm like out in the Bahamas and want to go ahead and play something on my PlayStation, connect to the Wi-Fi, and go to my PS app. And then bam, remote play, and I could play FIFA from the Bahamas with my buddy, newlywed. You know what I mean? So this is pretty cool stuff. And I think the Backbones itself is like $100, $200.
It's $100. I'm looking
it's
at
$100. Yeah. I actually do plan on getting one. That way I just have a Switch-like experience with my phone as well, because I have the PlayStation app on my phone. So is it going to be immediately? No. But is it going to be down the road? That's the plan. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our All Things Gaming episode 14 for 2023, May 23rd. Tomorrow, as mentioned before earlier at the top of the show, we are going to be live reacting to the PlayStation Showcase that's taking place at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do the pre-show at 3:50, and then kind of go from there. All right, so and then we'll probably talk about the game after the showcase, kind of give our thoughts, all that good stuff, especially since it's so early. So we'll probably just talk about the games that we saw, talk about the predictions, all that good stuff, and then we'll be back at it like a bad habit this coming Tuesday. We didn't have 9 to 5. I know we were planning on doing a 9 to 5 this month. Ended up being a little busy, so no 9 to 5 this month unless we're able to get one in this Saturday, and that's TBD. So be on the lookout for our social media posts if we do one. But if not, then we'll try to plan for one for June. Until next time, everybody.
One more time.
You probably hear my son in the background, so he's going a little crazy. But yeah, until next time, everybody. I am Flash, aka Malcat36. This is It's the 9 Ball, and this is Mill, Dewey, Carrot signing off. We will see you guys tomorrow at 3:50 p.m. EST. Until next time, everybody. Control out.
Complete.
Complete.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace.